The January 6th committee has spent weeks showing the American public that Donald Trump's big lie was part of a concerted effort to steal the presidency by any means necessary. And now new leaked audio from Mother Jones is reaffirming that claim. Take a listen to what Steve Bannon said a week before the 2020 election.
What Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's going to declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a firestorm. If Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. No, because he's going to sit right there and say they stole it.
Agree.
I'm directing the Attorney General to shut down all ballot places in all 50 states. It's going to be no. He's not going out easy. If Biden's winning, Trump is going to do some crazy.
I mean, what is he, the Oracle? Just think about how much of that actually came true. It's kind of crazy to think about that. Meanwhile, as the committee continues to lay out just how orchestrated all of this actually was, we're getting new reporting on the witness Donald Trump allegedly tried to call. NBC News is reporting that it was a member of the White House support staff who's been cooperating with the January 6th committee. I mean, how long is the list of crimes at this point? Joining me now, Amanda Carpenter, columnist for the Conservative Review. And Amanda, when you hear Steve Bannon predicting basically what we saw unfold after the election, does it make you think that this actually was a plan? Somebody thought this through, and that none of this, including the insurrection, was a random occurrence?
No, and we're seeing that with the January 6th committee investigation, which I write a lot about at the Bulwark. And the key point that Liz Cheney keeps drilling home is that Donald Trump knew what he was doing from the start. The biggest talking point that you hear from Trump's defenders, they don't say that January 6th didn't happen anymore. They don't say it wasn't all that bad anymore. What they say is that he was too stupid to coup. He couldn't have planned all this. And that is not the truth, because just like Steve Bannon knew what the game plan was going to be, we know that a lot of other conservative activists knew what the game plan was going to be on January 6th from what we found out in that last hearing. One of the biggest revelations that came out of that had to do with the text messages that were sent among rally organizers, where they were telling each other Donald Trump is going to tell the mob to march to the Capitol, but essentially we've got to keep it a secret because that would get us into trouble. There were a number of people that knew he was going to call for that. There was a draft tweet, written calling for that. Everybody knew the game here. But what I want people to think about when they look at this new evidence and information is that we're not looking at something that happened in the past. The January 6th investigation is not about something that happened on a winter day in 2021. The threat remains active because Donald Trump is still denying the election. He's still the leader of the Republican Party, and he's still working to ramp back voter access in the next election, and even, dangling pardons openly at every audience he can get to say, you know what, we did it before. I thought it was okay. Get ready to do it again.
One of the things I think about when you say that is that Steve Bannon was pardoned just a couple weeks before the election. I mean, he was pardoned right at the end, and then obviously was quite busy leading up to
along with Roger Stone.
Insurrection Day. Right.
Yeah,
so, and
Roger Stone,
right,
Because at every chance he encourages this kind of behavior. I mean, the thing that we've seen laid out by the January 6th committee, but really needs to be distilled, is that, yes, the committee has shown a very good job of all the people who told him no. You shouldn't do this. You should stop after the lawsuits. You should concede gracefully. But every step of the way, he said yes. And he actively pursued yes men and women who would do his bidding. I mean, that's how you end up with the possibility of someone like Jeffrey Clark as Attorney General. Bill Barr walked out finally at the end of the craziness. I thought, he waited way too long. But Donald Trump actively disregarded that advice and said, you know what, I'm going to find people who will do my bidding. And Steve Bannon was always there for him.
Always there for him. I mean, when you think about the fact that there's new revelations about the witness that Donald Trump allegedly tried to call, that validates a lot what was in the second volume of the Mueller report. If people actually read that, they would know that this is a pattern with Donald Trump. He loves to contact witnesses that are in cases that involve him. I mean, do you think that's witness intimidation, just even getting a call from Donald Trump when there's an ongoing investigation like this? I mean, he has to know at this point what he's doing.
Well, he knows what he's doing and it's worked for him, right? Has he faced any consequences whatsoever for his behavior? I mean, if anything, he's increased in stature as a possible 2024 nominee, right? He has a lock in the party. And I know, a lot of my conservative friends say, they're waiting for Ron DeSantis. He will save us someday. That doesn't happen unless we as a public figure out there has to be some kind of political consequence for Donald Trump. He's already lost the House, he lost the Senate, he lost his reelection, but somehow he's still kicking around because everyone in the Republican Party who is in leadership today is still afraid to tell him no.
So what is the solve? Because there is new reporting that suggests, to your point, that Donald Trump is gearing up for a 2024 presidential run. He told New York Magazine that he has made his decision, but is deciding when to announce his official run. I mean, he just launched an attack on the United States Capitol to defy the will of the American voters to overturn an election and subvert democracy, but he wants to be a candidate for president. What is the solution? And how do you actually marginalize someone like this politically?
The solution, I think, is something that is revealed within the success so far of the January 6th committee, in that if you look at the difference between, the first two impeachments, say, and this investigation, what's different? Why are we getting so many more Republicans actually come forward this time? I think it's because Nancy Pelosi had the wisdom to allow some Republicans to come into that process in the form of Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. That truly has made all the difference. And so while Donald Trump is, without a doubt, the leader of the Republican Party right now, and the fact that you don't have anyone willing to speak out against him like Kevin McCarthy or Mitch McConnell, that's happening in Washington. Meanwhile, everywhere else, I've listened to a lot of focus groups of Republican voters. They're uncomfortable with the fact that Donald Trump might be the nominee again. They'll never say, you know what, I made a mistake. He was responsible for January 6th. The committee changed my mind. They're just sort of getting fatigued with the problem. And I think if this sort of left center right coalition can be successful in keeping the salience high of the problems with Donald Trump, saying, he was responsible for this, just constantly reminding people of the wreckage that he caused. And no matter, where you sit on the political aisle, Donald Trump is not going to be the solution. I think that really goes a long way in forcing big donors of the Republican Party to think about backing other candidates, and also getting those other candidates to really, really consider when they might get in.
Amanda Carpenter of The Bulwark, thank you so much for being here today. Really, really important conversation. Please stay safe. Hi, I'm Zerlina Maxwell. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more from Zerlina by clicking any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thanks for watching.